21 Lamborghini Urus. And Patrick, of course, is manning the camera. Thank you, Patrick. And we're going to answer all your questions about the Urus. First of all, I will have POV test drive, POV night drive, and drive impressions. Not a full in-depth review because I just did an in-depth review on this one about a year ago. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that. But I'll have all those videos out for you. Thank you everyone who's tuned in live. We'll be also answering questions from the folks who asked them on Instagram. That's at @miles_per_hour if you want to follow me there. Just like this, if you want to pick up a t-shirt, grab one of these too. They're linked under all of my videos on YouTube. And TikTok also at @miles_per_hour, same deal, post videos every day. So, Patrick, what is our, first of all, do we have any folks tuned in live who are asking questions?
Currently not yet, it's just hello.
Well, hey guys, thank you for tuning in.
And you being late.
And me being late, yeah, well, get used to it. No, I'm just kidding.
First question, do you prefer this or the Cayenne Turbo S?
Yeah, so I'm gonna hear this question a lot. Here, Cayenne Turbo S, I'll hear Mercedes-AMG G63, I'll hear Bentley Bentayga, I'll hear Rolls-Royce Cullinan, I will hear, there's like another, the other SUVs, other super SUVs. The Cayenne Turbo S is interesting because as a Volkswagen Auto Group vehicle, it's using the same platform as the Urus. It has the same engine, 4-liter twin-turbo V8. The power is different in the Cayenne Turbo S. I think it makes a little less. This is 641. I think that one makes like 630. I'll tell you what, the Cayenne Turbo S, actually the Cayenne GTS, is the most enjoyable to drive SUV I've ever driven. This is more dynamic to drive. Which would I prefer? I think I like the look of this a little better than the Cayenne, just because it looks a bit more special. But as equipped like this, with the white on black. When the blue one I had a year ago, I didn't like how that looked. It didn't work well with the design of the vehicle. I like the Cayenne GTS, how that one looks.
Let's see. Alma's Yuma as price as tested.
Price as tested is $278,000. Starting figure for this one for the 21 model year is $224,000.
And asked by Alejandro, how fast does it go?
The top speed of the Urus is the same time. I'm going to stop saying it that way. I know it's how Italians pronounce it, but I'm going to stop saying it that way. The top speed of the Urus is the same as the Cayenne Turbo S, same as the Bentley Bentayga, and I think the same as the RSQ8. They're all tied at 190 miles per hour. You tell me, I'm curious, do you think that the most expensive of the set should also have the highest top speed? Should it be like 2 miles per hour more?
Let's see, Space Monk asks, do you choose the Lamborghini Urus or Jeep-Hawk Trackhawk? Trackhawk, yeah.
The Trackhawk, okay, so the Trackhawk,
they're up there, right?
They're much less expensive.
Oh, yeah.
The Trackhawks are like 80,000 to start or something, 100 if you like equip all the options. So less than half the starting price of the Urus. Which would I choose? Well, I'll tell you what, the Trackhawk soundtrack is fantastic. This is also very good. The interior of this wipes the floor with the Trackhawk. It's just so much nicer. All the material quality is so much better. The tech is better. So I think I'd probably, if given the choice, I'd go with one of these. If it was my money, I would obviously not be able to afford either, but I would choose the Trackhawk.
Let's see, Hussein asks, let's see the new key. Is there a new key?
New key, I don't know if this is a new key. I think it looks a lot like the Audi RSQ8's key, just with a Lamborghini badge right here and Lamborghini on the back. But I'm pretty sure this is the RSQ8's key. A little different fascia on it, different designs, but it's the same form factor.
Do you like the back end of the Urus?
My least favorite look on it, honestly, not my least favorite look. I think the RSQ8's back end looks so much better. It's just cleaner, like they did a lot, but then again, that's the whole design of the Urus. They try to like do a lot to every part of it. But the back end, this diffuser doesn't look right to me. Like I think it should, first of all, I don't think it should be silver, especially on, you'll see, this is black and white theme everything in this SUV. But the diffuser design doesn't look right, and painted in silver, that doesn't look right. I like the black quad exhaust ports, those look good. I like the thin LED taillights, but it looks a little strangely, even though it's all angular, it's like rounded too.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It looks like it needs to lose a little weight back here.
Let's see. They want to see the interior.
Okay. Well, so here's the back seats.
Definitely gotta hit yourself.
Okay, you gotta duck. So the seats are in black leather with white contrast stitching, but look at this door. Look at the black, white, white, black, white stitch, white with black stitch, black. It's crazy, and then black open pore. Like they went nuts with the white on black theme. It's kind of cool. Like I kind of think it's rad, but they really like to the nines with every little white on black detail, and there's leather everywhere in this cabin.
Is it good for daily driving?
Yeah, it's actually very good. So it has the same air suspension system as the Audi RSQ8, which is one of the best riding performance SUVs I've ever been in. Just the air suspension just soaks everything up so nicely. It's a better air suspension system than Mercedes products, if you ask me.
How much horsepower?
641. You want to look at the engine?
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll look at the engine soft closed doors, by the way. So you can just not close it well, and it'll take care of the rest for you. Looking at the engine, as I said, it's shared with all those performance vehicles I mentioned that are under the Volkswagen Auto Group. And it's a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. Kind of an underwhelming engine bay, if you ask me. Lamborghini product, and it's just this plastic thing on there. It doesn't even look that extravagant, apart from the Lamborghini signature stuff that they have on all their products. But it is a 4-liter twin-turbo V8. It makes 641 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque, question mark. I cannot remember the torque figure. The 0 to 60 time is 3.2 seconds, though independent tests have seen even quicker. And someone asked about the 0 to 120 time. It's 10.6 seconds, and that's very, very quick. Top speed is 190 miles per hour.
Let's see. First Instagram question.
Okay.
Asked from Vision S. Does the Audi DNA affect your enjoyment of the car or truck?
Yeah, so he had a little confusion. He's like, is this a car or a truck? It's a unibody platform, so it's not a body-on-frame platform, so it's a more car body than truck body. But does the Audi DNA, and that, I mean, to answer that, really, nothing on the exterior says RSQ8, really. It's very Lamborghini in its design. But the interior, you're gonna see some, here, go to the other side because you can see more of that. So you look at the design, and they've got the geometric shapes. They got the hexagonal pattern here, and the hexagonal pattern on the air vents and certain places like that. Those are very Lamborghini. The stitch pattern is very Lamborghini. The Lamborghini, obviously embroidered in the headrest, is all different. A leather wrapped headliner is all new. But this whole design of the dashboard, apart from these pieces here, is RSQ8. The shape of the the orientation of the seats and everything, the space, it's all RSQ8. But you can't really pick out, short of the infotainment screens where they just put a light skin of Lamborghini stuff on them, you don't really get in this and think, I'm driving an RSQ8, I'm driving an Audi product. You feel like this is different. That also is very dependent on how the vehicle is spec'd. Like I was in the blue one, and that one wasn't spec'd quite as extravagantly as this one is, and so it felt a little closer to the Audi product, but this, it feels different. You feel like you're in a different cabin than if you go sit in an RSQ8. You can pick out that the layout is similar, but the materials and the designs of certain features are very different and very Lamborghini. You're not going to get in and be like, I'm driving an Audi.
Dylan asks, how are the paddles?
So someone called them Audi paddles. And I mean, they're the same mechanism as Audi, but these are aluminum, and the design is very cool. You've got these cut out portions in them. It reminds me very much of the Aventador's styling. It's so edgy and so pointed, and they do feel really cool in the hands. Actuating them is going to feel the same as the Audi RSQ8, but the paddles themselves look very different, and they feel very different in the hands.
Let's see, how are the seats?
Very comfortable. These are super comfy seats, and they didn't overdo it with the bolstering of these seats, but they look really sporty, right? You got the harness pass-throughs here, and the bolstering does look good. but they're not so aggressively bolstered that it's like, I don't want to drive this every day. These seats are comfortable. And I think they're also massaging. Yeah, they're massaging.
Sparsh asked, this or the Range Rover Velar SV Autography Ultimate Edition?
It is Sparsh's favorite vehicle.
Yeah.
Sparsh, I'll tell you what, I think I would choose this because it's so fast. It is such a quick and fast vehicle. I'm gonna start it up because I think that's what you guys want to see. So the way you do that is you pull up the fighter jet style, like this is where you would hit the missile button. You lift this up, hit the start stop. You get a little overrun. Even in Strada, you get a little overrun. Oh, mercy. No soft limiter there, guys. Yeah, sorry the camera is getting all wonky, but no soft limiter. That just revved it out. That was awesome.
That was pretty.
So it's crazy that's like the same engine that's in the Audi product, in the Porsche Cayenne product. They all sound very different. The tuning of the exhaust system, in fact, they're completely different exhaust systems, but also the tuning of the engine, the soundtrack is distinctive. This doesn't sound like the RSQ8 sounds. It sounds very Lamborghini-esque, despite the fact that the Lamborghini products have V10s.
Almost asked, how many driving modes does it have?
7.
7.
So look here.
Wow.
So their drive mode selector they call Anima, and it has Strada, which basically means street mode, or just cruising around. Sport mode, Corsa mode, which is race mode. Sabia is like I think sand. Terra is like dirt mode, and then Neve is snow. So you got all those modes, and then you've got an individual mode here. They call it Ego, and you pull this, and I love the actuation of all these things. So this is reverse, by the way. You lift up on this, and this is a huge grab handle for reverse. And someone was like, "Is it too big? Is it weird?" And you're like, I mean, like honestly, it could be the same size as these three, and I would be fine with it. But it's like it still feels cool to like pull back on that. But yeah, your individual mode, you can change these 3 different things in individual: your chassis, your steering, and your suspension from within your individual mode. So technically it has 8 drive modes, right? Because it's got 7 plus 1.
Dominique asks, how's the steering wheel feel?
So you can get the steering wheel differently. You can get it wrapped in Alcantara, like that was the last one I had, and in 2020. And I liked that, but I knew the Alcantara was going to start to pill after a while. This smooth, they call it the smooth steering wheel. The leather feel is excellent. The flat bottom design is really nice. The white contrast stitching on the inside and the metal center marker is really cool. And then of course you have the paddles back behind it. But this is a really good feeling wheel. It's the right thickness. They didn't overdo the thickness. And it's the right diameter. It's not a big wheel and it's not a tiny wheel.
Jesus Soto asks, how much plastic can you find?
Oh, good question. So I mean, like this volume knob, though it's sort of, cool design, that's plastic. It's probably plastic up here, yeah, plastic there. These pieces here are in plastic. It's not a ton of it. I think in the door the switches are going to be plastic. Yeah, but like there's not a lot of it. There's a little here for these buttons. These are going to be, but they're like a soft, high quality plastic. It's not obvious, right? Where they use plastic. This is a very high-end cabin.
Let's see. Is the screen responsive?
Yeah, so it's a capacitive touch screen, so you get this haptic feedback when you press on the thing. It's not just a touch screen, so it helps if you're driving, you're not distracted because you know when what you hit actually is like gonna work. So this is a good screen. This is actually not the current generation of Audi's MMI technology, which is being shared here with Lamborghini. This is one behind, and so when this vehicle gets an update, when the RSQ8 gets an update, when those products are refreshed, they'll have the latest Audi stuff, and it's only going to improve on this because this is actually very good. I like this infotainment system. I like it better than the command system that's in the G63, although I do like the new MBUX system quite a lot. But yeah, this is a good orientation, and then this bottom one is for climate controls and shortcuts, and the top one's for your navigation and settings.
ZTRA08 asks, would you get this or the Huracan?
Ugh. I would get the Huracan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even be a question for me because that is to me a Lamborghini. This is for Lamborghini owners and enthusiasts who really want a Lamborghini SUV, but I still feel like it's forced a little bit, right? This doesn't feel like from ground up Lamborghini, whereas the Huracan is nothing but a Lamborghini. Even though it's got Audi, right? It's an Audi R8, right? But it feels very Lamborghini, whereas this feels a little closer to the Volkswagen Auto Group products than the Huracan feels to the R8.
Michael F asked if the car is turned on to accessory mode, how long would the battery and the stereo without turning the engine on?
It's a very specific question. I don't know. I didn't test that. But what he means is like if I turn the car off and then I don't put my foot on the brake and just hit this button once or twice to go to accessory full, how long can I sit here and blast the radio before the battery would die? I imagine a pretty long time, especially if you went and charged the battery a lot by like driving it around a lot and then you stopped and hit that. It'd be quite a while.
Let's see, Sparsh asked, would you get this over the Maserati Levante?
Yes, because once again, the interior of this is far nicer. The material quality is far nicer. You're not gonna. Cameron always asks about the creak test, but the quality of this cabin, like okay, there's a little creak there, little creak up here. But what kills me is like in the Maserati, you press on it and it like gives. Like you feel the give of the materials. These don't feel like they give. You may get a small creak, but it doesn't feel like it's like not solid. So the build quality feels better in this. The material quality looks and feels better in this. And the Maserati, despite having, in my opinion, a more engaging steering feel, this is far quicker and it's far flatter in a corner.
Another question from Instagram. When will there be a new generation? Jesus loves you.
Jesus loves you too. So this vehicle hasn't been out that long. So it's more like when is the Audi Q8 going to get a new generation? Because if they're kind of continue with that, this will then be based on that vehicle. And the Q8's been out for 3 years now. So based on vehicle life cycles, typically are like 7 years. We're probably not going to see a new generation of this for another 4 years.
Another question. What's the best, Urus, Bentayga, or the G63?
Yeah, I knew I'd get that question. I think a few people asked it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Worship Kids, Eddie, and the Blue Q.
Okay. Which would I have? So this is going to be far and away the quickest of that bunch. Not far and away necessarily. I think the Porsche is quite as fast. It's the most athletic. Like you can take a corner faster in this and more confidently than you can in any of those other vehicles, including the Porsche. But which one would I get in and feel, I think, the coolest? G63. Yeah. You get in that and you just like, because what I would do is like this, if it was, you're saying my only vehicle, okay, maybe more Lamborghini Urus. But the fact that if you have that kind of money to buy those cars, you've got your G63 in my case, and you've also got your dedicated sports car, in which case I would, get a Huracan or something like that. So you'd have the two products. If you're trying to loop it all into one, this vehicle is kind of doing, it's looping it all into one. But the G63 is like kind of dedicated, cool, great soundtrack, definitely very fast, but it's not trying to be as dynamic as this is, because that's sort of like left in the territory of the sports cars and supercars.
I'm gonna ask.
Move around.
What do you feel about the control climate? Does it looks too shiny, and can you make it brighter?
The climate control? This
like
part
the
down
screen,
here?
Yeah.
Does it look like reflection? He's probably
Exactly,
asking about. Yeah, you do get some glare, and especially the fact that it's all around gloss black, which is, as everyone knows who likes this channel, my nemesis. Which, like, you can already see there's like dust and all this stuff, and it's like I cleaned it yesterday. Yeah, you do get some reflection, and some of it's from the screen, some of it is from the gloss black. And this piece in here, this is like gonna get nitty gritty, but like speaking of dust collection, all the dust goes into these little slots here, and you can't get to it. It's like you can wipe a rag, but there's still gonna be dust under each of the. That's very specific. But the climate control screen is you do get some glare, but it's very easy to use. And worst case, you know, you kind of just like hold your finger around it, find what you're looking for, and then tap it.
People said, actually, V asked, are you gonna use launch control?
Yeah, well, we'll go out. We'll find a way to use launch control. Don't worry.
Let's see. What's the engine and horsepower? Why vibrate?
No, perfect. So we're looking at the 4-liter twin-turbo V8, makes 641 horsepower. Again, cannot remember the torque figure off the top of my head. I think it's like 590 pound-feet. And the 0 to 60 is 3.2 seconds, says Lamborghini. I think it can do it faster. Quicker.
Vanessa for fun asks, what disappoints you about this car? Or is that going to be for you?
No, that's a very good question. I mean, yeah, I'm going to have drive impressions. I won't have a full-on review, but what disappoints me? I mean, like, I think if it's a general statement that I'm making about what I'm disappointed by is the fact that while the Huracan, we were just talking about, while the Huracan feels like a distinctive Lamborghini product despite sharing its underpinnings and even engine with the Audi R8, this feels a little more Audi in the way that it's in the drive and in the way that it's not so much the cabin, but it feels a little more Audi than the Huracan does feel Audi. If that kind of makes any sense.
What color would you prefer this car?
I actually like this.
White?
I either this matte white on the black or black fully or completely black. I would actually like, I may take like all black with these black wheels.
Funny
Yeah.
question, but someone asked you, you're getting mistaken by Bradley Cooper.
I've had the comparison drawn. No one's ever been like, oh, you're Bradley Cooper, right? No, that's never happened.
Jesus Soto asks, do you prefer this or the Cayenne Turbo GT or the Cayenne GTS?
So I haven't driven the Cayenne Turbo GT yet. I look forward to doing that early next year. The GTS is, in my opinion, and okay, so like, I mean, the Cayenne Turbo GT will be very interesting, but the GTS right now is the most enjoyable to drive SUV I've been in. The chassis is so good, the steering tuning is just right, which would like I tackle a corner and feel like the most confident in, probably this.
Question from Instagram. Urus, Bentayga, Cullinan to drive by Maga.
Yeah, so that was another one thrown in there. The Cullinan's very interesting in that, like, obviously it's not a performance vehicle like the other ones that were mentioned, but it is like incredibly relaxing to drive.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you've got to get somewhere and you want to arrive relaxed, then the Cullinan's going to be the way to go. But I don't think it's the best looking of the set, far and away. Again, if it's my dollars I'm spending, I'm getting the G63, and then on the side I've got my sports car. Probably about time. Let's go take it out for a drive.
Okay. Do you want me to go in the front or the back, because I feel like it's going to be a little...
It's going to be probably tight in the front, so yeah, if you want to take the back. I promise launch control is still going to feel nuts back there. And start-stop technology, which I hate in a Lamborghini. That feels wrong. We'll go into sport mode, and that will turn off start-stop technology. And to go into drive, you just pull the paddle.
Sparsh asked, Aston Martin DBX or this?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a nice one. I saw the one the other day, and I was actually going to send you a picture about it.
Yeah, so I reviewed the DBX, and it is still, to me, the most beautiful SUV on sale. I just think it's jaw-droppingly beautiful. The interior of that is incredible as well. I think even nicer than the interior of this one.
Is there ambient lighting?
There is. You can get it as an option. It's not on this one, which is so. I was surprised because I did the night drive last night, And I was like, where's the ambient lighting? You got like footwell lighting, but it's just like uniform white or like cool blue or whatever it is. You don't get a choice of ambient lighting.
Light asks, are the rumors about the Ferrari SUV true? Or what do you think about
there's
the
definitely
rumors?
going to be a Ferrari SUV, probably released early 2022, or at least, I mean, shown possibly even by the end of this year, but probably shown by early 22, and then it'll be a 23 model year vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Patrick's is fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to grab the camera. That's
Oh,
because
yeah,
it
sorry.
moved, but
I tried to wait till I took the corner so it didn't go.
Trevor asked, interior of the RS Q8 or this?
Yeah, this interior is just cooler. Like they tried harder in this interior with like the open pore wood that's got the hexagonal stuff and the shapes of the ear vents and the leather in all these different places. I'm gonna say interior of this one over the RS Q8.
Let's see, another question from Instagram. Why would anyone buy one? Fish bait.
So it's an interesting question because you're thinking not just why would you buy one, it's why would you buy one over one of those other SUVs that we were talking about. And as I kind of said earlier when I was sitting in the seat, it's for the person who loves the Lamborghini brand or wants the most ridiculous SUV on sale, and none of those others will satisfy. And in that case, like, this is the craziest looking SUV on sale. It has the the biggest production brakes. It's the fastest SUV tied with those other ones. One of the quickest accelerating SUVs you can buy. It's for the extremes. If you want the most wild, if you want the craziest, the fastest, then that's who buys this.
Fuser Gamer asked, do you think the RS Q8 is a better buy?
So I feel like this is always interesting because their comparison videos, RSQ8 versus Lamborghini Urus and all that kind of stuff. What it's going to come down to is not whether the person can afford can only afford the RSQ8 or only afford this. If you have that kind of money, it's not a question of afford. It's a question of preference and styling and all those things. And I think, frankly, if you can afford the Lamborghini Urus, you're going to want the Lamborghini Urus. The RSQ8 looks good and it drives very well, and I would be very satisfied with that. But the Urus is just more insane, and if you want that, that's where you're going to choose.
Another question from Instagram. One Mizzy asked, 0 to 60 and 0 to 120.
Yeah, so he was the person who asked about the 0 to 60 and 120. 0 to 60 is 3.2, says Lamborghini. 0 to 120 is 10.6. Listen to that sound. That soundtrack is so good and different than the RSQ8. Gosh, and the mid-range pull is intense.
Dominique asked, this or the G63 AMG?
Again, if it's me and I'm personally driving and I've got a sports car in the garage or a supercar in the garage, I'm taking G63.
A Rolex asked, can I drive this when you're done?
Love that question. Sure. I'll give you my address. Just said reach out to me and you can come pick it up.
Maximilian asked, would you drive this off-road?
Yeah, so people have like asked for an off-road driving video in this, and I really would love to oblige, but the fact is it's on 23-inch wheels and the tires are not meant for off-roading. Sure, you can take this off-road. You can raise the suspension and you can take it off-road, but not on the wheels that they give me. Not the wheels, not the tires, so I wouldn't take this one off-road. If given the opportunity on the right tires with the right wheels that I'm not going to destroy by taking it anywhere with like stones or gravel, I would absolutely take that opportunity. Unfortunately, that's not the vehicle I was spec'd out with, so I'm not going to do an off-road drive.
Let's see. Eric asked, does it ride smooth
Yeah,
or rough? Sorry.
definitely. Yeah, it rides smooth. The Sport and Corsa are going to get more bumpy with the suspension because they're changing the dampers, their adaptive dampers, obviously. Whereas the Strada mode is very smooth. It's not. I think actually the RSQ8. Maybe this is just in my memory because it's been about a year since I drove the RSQ8. But I felt like the RSQ8 rode even softer. Maybe that was the tuning of the suspension in that one. But it still in Strada it rides very, very well.
Nice. I don't know if you guys could hear those.
The burbles,
Yeah.
the overrun from the exhaust.
Let's see. How much is it?
224 to start, 278 as tested. So it's got like 50 grand in options. And one of the most expensive options is that paint job. The matte white is $14,500.
The seats in the back are comfortable. I'm 5'7", so there's plenty of room for me and stuff. But it does feel a little small in the back and stuff. If there's like a bigger person, then definitely it would be kind of tight.
Yeah. So I mean, I can fit behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, but it's the slope of the roof that I think makes the cat. Also, the fact that this the panoramic roof doesn't go all the way back; it kind of stops before your head, makes it not feel as spacious as I think it necessarily is. Because there's actually about a decent amount of room back there, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it because of the tightness of the design of the cabin.
4 people comfortable, not 5, because
Yeah.
they have the extra seat here and stuff.
No, 5, that would be too much.
Okay. They said race that Tesla.
No, not gonna be racing anyone.
Let's see. Harsh asks, is a front bumper different or stock?
Yeah, that's the factory front bumper. It may have received some tweaks for the 21 model year, maybe because he was like, did that look different to you? So I think it may have been slightly updated for 21, but it's the factory bumper.
Ref asks, just for the rich?
Yes, this is a just for the rich product, just like any supercar is just for the rich. Starting figure of $224,000. If you can shell that out on a car, then you're probably making several $100,000 or more every year.
Yeah, that's a lot. I even lease this car, even if I had the money, because it's like, what, $2,000?
Like $2,000 a month plus, unless the lease, which Lamborghini wouldn't do it, covers your maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
Your maintenance, your brakes and stuff like that would cost you thousands of dollars. Your insurance alone would cost you thousands of dollars every month.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
So,
Harsh asked, which Range Rover would this compete to?
this is probably the most direct rival for the Range Rover Sport SVR. But that one makes 550 horsepower, and it's not as athletic as this. It would be more capable off-road, though both of them can raise their suspensions. That one's gonna be more capable off-road. But yeah, that would be the direct rival, the SV. Do they have SVR? Yes, there is SVR for them. I thought it was just Jaguar, but it's both of them.
Another question from Instagram. How does it compare to a cheaper performance SUV like the Jeep Cherokee Trackhawk or the Dodge Durango Hellcat?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of performance, the platform for this vehicle is more dynamic. It's got torque vectoring. It has limited slip differential in the center. It's got active anti-roll bars, so it's got more sophisticated tech for handling. Whereas the Trackhawk and the Durango Hellcat kind of go with old school, wider tires and stiffer suspension, and that's their play at it. In a straight line, they're going to be similar. The Trackhawk probably is about the same in terms of acceleration, maybe slightly slower. The Durango's not going to be as quick in a straight line, but I mean that's in the performance elements. In the other elements, the cabin is vastly nicer in this than both the Grand Cherokee and the Durango Hellcat.
Let's see. Is Raviv asks, is the car worth the big money?
Is it worth the money?
I mean, at that point, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is necessarily, because I feel like though it is, the fastest SUV, the craziest looking, I think I would rather spend my money on, again, a G63 and then have the dedicated supercar. This doesn't have the same appeal for me because of that. But I can understand those. Again, if you want the craziest, if you want the fastest, nothing else will do. And so, in that regard, sure, it's going to be worth it for you. But personally, it would not be worth it for me, because I'd rather have a G63 to tote around in and
Bravos? I mean, that's a...
Bravos would be pretty cool. Bravos would be cool. All right, we're going to do a launch control here, guys. So,
Okay. All right.
I've put it in Corsa mode, turn off stability control, launch control possible. And that's it. That's it. Just that fast. And it feels like it lifts the nose off.
Yeah, no,
And yet, because it's all-wheel drive, no loss of traction whatsoever.
Wow.
You're just gone.
I wish you guys could have experienced that. That's pretty nice. You could definitely feel the grip.
Yeah, it's
It has-
crazy. We'll do another one here just for fun. So we got open roads.
Sparsh asks, how much does the paint to a sample job cost?
So this paint is $14,500. I don't know, I don't think they charge you anything to help you find the right paint job, but yeah, this one's $14,500.
Sorry,
that's
in
halfway
advance.
that's halfway to a decent mainstream car.
Sorry in advance. I'm trying to hold the camera if it gets back.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the launch again. That is one of the craziest accelerating vehicles I've ever been in, and this is an SUV.
That was crazy. That is crazy.
Oh man.
Car, we're gonna go with the this or the GLS S63. I don't think
The GLS 63. That's a 3-row SUV. That's more like if we're talking performance, it's more like the Durango Hellcat. So if I didn't need the 3rd row, obviously I'd want a smaller SUV. GLS is pretty awesome. The 63 is pretty awesome. I think I'd probably go with this though.
Yeah. Let's see. 2 QRS, or this, or 1 Urus. The
Two RSQ8,
Yeah.
or 1 Urus.
Yeah.
That question I never understand, because it's like, here, would you have 2 of these cars? What would I do with the other one? If you have the money to afford it, I guess it's like, if someone's just gifting me, sure, I'll take 2 RSQ8 and I'll give one to a good friend, or sell it and pocket the cash and just drive around in that, or one of these. Yeah, I'll take the 2 RSQ8s.
Invictus asks, how does it feel driving a Urus?
You don't feel, and again I mentioned this earlier, you don't feel necessarily quite as special and cool as driving a different Lamborghini, even the Huracan, but you do still feel cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is so fast. So you got a smile on your face because of how fun it is to drive. But I mean, someone asks you to take this or a Huracan, I would take the Huracan just because the Huracan is just so freaking cool.
Let's see. This or the Maybach GLS?
Oh yeah, I like this over the Maybach GLS. I wasn't a huge fan of the Maybach GLS. It had really nice touches. I didn't really like the. I think I had one with a duotone paint job. Can't remember. It didn't look as cool to me as the Maybach S-Class that I drove recently. If you guys haven't seen that one, go watch that. But yeah, I would take this over the Maybach.
If this was your daily driver and stuff, would you like it?
Yeah. It's comfortable. Like the RSQ8's comfortable. It's ridiculously fast. So if you ever want to have some fun or just put your foot down to make a pass on the road, the seats are really comfortable. the tech is good. Yeah, it would make a really good Tailgate driver for sure.
Oh, this is a good question. I don't think this has been asked. Do you ever get anxiety about scratching one of these luxury cars?
That was something I used to feel just anytime I would get something really, really expensive. But as time's gone on, I think that's faded a little bit. It doesn't mean I can just be careless with the vehicles, because I don't. I take really good care of them. But I know that, you know, if someone dings me in a parking lot or something, I can tell Lamborghini and they'll forgive me because it's not my fault. If I scratch something, if I do something dumb, that's kind of on me, and they won't be happy, but I try not to do that. I really take good care of the cars.
Light ass is exhaust from factory.
Yep, it's factory exhaust. Almost all the vehicles you'll see on this channel, guys, are going to be factory vehicles. So what you get from the manufacturer is what you'll see in terms of the cars in this channel. But I mean, that's how good the exhaust sounds. People are like, is that aftermarket? No, that's a
really
stock exhaust system. It's just that loud and exciting.
Do you constantly have people coming up to you and talk to you about the cars, or do most not care?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the car. Something like this, where we live, I mean, you can attest to this, like, you see them, right? Like, you see them around, and so people aren't like, oh my gosh, like a Lamborghini Urus. But if you take this somewhere where they're not common, yeah, you're gonna get a lot of people come up to you. Or when I'm in something new that people haven't seen yet, like when I was in the Bronco, I had a lot of people come up and be like, oh, it's a new. I had a ton of people asking me like, oh, I have got one on order. This is the first one I've actually seen. So it really depends on the car, and it depends on where you are. Where we are in a very fancy car capital of the world, just a supercar or super, that was a terrible part, super SUV that's been out for a while, people aren't going to be like, oh yeah, the Urus, and come up and talk to you.
How do you compare this to the Alpina XB7 in performance and also luxury?
That's another good one to consider. So the Alpina, like the Maybach, and actually the Maybach's only a 2-row, but like we were just talking about it. The GLS 63, they're both 3-row SUVs, and this is a 2-row SUV. This is going to be more athletic. The Alpina is got a higher center of gravity. The luxury of that one is really very good. I would say it's even better in this vehicle. That's all. Pardon me. That's also like $130,000 SUV, and this is $220. So you're paying a lot more, but you're also getting a lot more in terms of performance and luxury touches.
Let's see. They want to listen to the horn.
Oh, the horn?
Give me a second, guy.
Inside, it kind of sounds like a British horn.
No, it does. It sounds kind of weak.
It's like high pitched.
Yeah, high pitch. Yeah. Let's see. Trackhawk, TRX, Hellcat Durango, or the 392 Wrangler. Which one would you choose?
Oh.
Or this?
Oh my gosh, I love all of those vehicles. TRX is freaking cool.
Have you driven it yet? Or not yet?
Yeah.
Have you?
I reviewed that one. The Wrangler 392 might take it for me though.
Really?
I think because it's so, I mean the TRX is ridiculous. The Wrangler 392 feels so ridiculous. It's like you're driving a off-road vehicle that should just be slow, or at least shouldn't be crazy fast, but then it has a V8. It sounds absurd, and it is actually fast. I think I might take Wrangler 392.
Or the Shelby Raptor.
I haven't driven that one, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, the horn was kind of...
Yeah, the horn is kind of like...
Jack Brown asked, what is your favorite car?
Ford GT?
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Ford GT. Not the newest one, but the one from 2005.
Let's see.
Guys, if we could crowdfund that for me, I would be so grateful. I would do a lot of things for a lot of people in a very conservative way. A lot of things for folks, favors and things like that.
Would you rather pick the RSQ8?
I would take this. I mean, like, just given the choice, I would take this. But, I mean, if it's, like, my money that I'm saving up, RSQ8's got almost all the performance. I think the back end looks better in the RSQ8. The interior isn't as nice, but it rides well. Yeah, so, I mean, if it's, like, my money, sure, I'll take the RSQ8. But if someone's just giving them to me, Urus.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. Those ramps, I can't get over how big they are, man.
23-inch wheels. Huge.
Are these ceramics?
Carbon ceramics, yeah,
Wow.
standard. 10 pistons.
Standard?
These are the biggest
Holy.
production brakes on a car.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Light says, I hope you could bring a Ford GT someday.
Oh, thank you. I hope I can buy that car someday too. That would be a dream come true.
Elon Musk has this or the Model X?
This,
Yeah.
the Model X, guys, the problem with the Model X is not the speed, it's fast. It's the interior quality, and it's the look. I don't think it looks that good. I don't like how the Model X looks.
Yeah. Let's see, random question. I know you're a fan of the new M3 and M4 designs, or do you prefer the previous generations?
Yeah, no, I'm not actually a fan of the new M3, M4 designs, not compared to the previous generations. I'm a fan of their performance. Their performance is awesome, but the designs, I don't like the faces. The profiles are fine, the rear ends look good, but I don't like the faces of them. But the performance is excellent.
Sparse as F-Pace SVR?
F-Pace SVR this. It's gonna be this again. And I'm still answering the question on, like, if someone's just giving me the car. If someone's giving me the car, I'll take this because I think the interior of this is nicer. This sounds, I like the sound of the SVR.
It was pretty nice.
The SVR did sound really good. Okay, so sound is probably like even, but this is way faster.
Let's see. Well, that's pretty much
If
all
that's it, guys,
questions.
then
Yeah.
thank you so much for tuning into this live Q&A. Again, I will have test drive, night drive, drive impressions for the Urus. And if you want to help out the channel, I would super appreciate it. Grab a t-shirt. And, well, we already missed the opportunity for contributions, but thank you guys so much for watching either way. And we'll see you next time.